Do you remember a couple years back, there were some Border Patrol agents on horseback? And when a bunch of migrants came across the border in the Del Rio area, they used their horses to kind of control the crowd. And Biden jumped up and said, "Oh no, they're whipping migrants." And some of the images you can see looked like this. Remember those? Okay. This happened a couple of years ago. And a lot more has unfolded since then. And I want to just kind of refresh your memory, and then we're going to dig into a little bit of it. Now, these guys were, well, first off, look at the people trying to cross. Very, very dark-skinned fellows. Usually Mexicans aren't quite this dark. And there's a reason for that. These were Haitian migrants. Now, I'm going to skip through the text here. We're going to come back to that later. But there's the guy, the CBP guy, on his horse, kind of whipping his reins around to kind of control the horse and control the crowd. And horses are pretty aggressive, so they're effective at crowd control. Now, the guys that are walking across, it looks like they're carrying styrofoam lunch boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This guy has another 6. This guy has a bag full of, I don't know, some kind of produce. These guys are just running food across the border, it looks like. But anyway, so the Border Patrol is kind of doing his best to keep the crowd controlled. And as I said earlier, Biden was like, "Oh no, they need to be punished. We're not allowed to whip these people who want to break into our country illegally and steal resources." But that's fine. It's a whole other issue. And now here's the image that made worldwide history. Now you can see he's actually grabbing the guy with his hand, and he's grabbing his shirt, still holding on to his lunch boxes for some reason, but that's disturbing and weird. But he never whipped him with the reins, as everyone declared. Psaki declared this, Biden declared this, and they jumped all over these Border Patrol agents saying they were evil and mean and they were whipping migrants and blah, blah, blah. So how does the story progress? Well, turns out, he says, it's horrible what you see, what you saw. See people treated like they did, with horses nearly running them over and people being strapped. It's outrageous. I promise you, these people will pay, Biden said. Now, everyone, at this point, several years later, we've had time to digest the whole incident. And we know unequivocally that Biden wants as many migrants here as possible. Legal, illegal, terrorists, children, it doesn't matter. He doesn't care. Just get as many people across the border as possible. I don't know why that's his agenda, but based on his actions, that's clearly what he wants. So let's fast forward a little bit. And what we're going to do is go to this article. And what this person did is they memorialized the whipping incident, and they made it into a coin. It says U.S. Border Patrol reining it in since May 22nd, 1924. This is a hilarious coin. I tried to buy some. I went to this website to purchase some. They are all sold out. Just like that, they sold out, which, I mean, it's good. This is capitalism at its finest. You offer something people want, they're going to buy it. I love it. But report, Biden administration is furious about the new challenge coin that's supporting the Border Patrol and mocking the liberal agenda. Hey, it is worthy of mockery, because Biden's border, what do you want to call it? His principles? No, he doesn't have any of those. His agenda, his border agenda, should be mocked. Why do we even have a country if we don't have a border? Whole other issue. Let's get back to the coins. So the assistant commissioner for CBP's Office of Public Affairs stated that, quote, "the images depicted on this coin are offensive, insensitive, and run counter to the core values of CBP." No, they don't. The officers were cleared of any wrongdoing. We'll get to that article in a second. This is a mockery of their policies. The CBP officers did nothing wrong because they were cleared of all charges. Now, this coin is just hilarious, and it should be taken for exactly how it was intended. Louise Miranda is the Assistant Commissioner for the CBP's Office of Public Affairs. It is important to mention that Louise Miranda is a political appointee with no experience as law enforcement and has never served in the military or even as a first responder. So she was literally just gifted this position by the Biden administration. She has no idea what she's doing. Of course she's going to parrot Biden's talking points and say, these guys are the worst ever, CBP. Hey, at this point, the government that you work for, they kind of don't approve of what you're doing. You may want to seek other employment. I know what you're doing is important, and I know you probably think you're doing a good job. But you're kind of fighting an uphill battle there, guys. So the Biden administration is very, very unhappy about this new coin. Let's just scroll up here and take a look at this again. This is just, how beautiful is that? Deep engraving, the cast well. Oh, it's beautiful. I really wish I could get one. Maybe they'll come up on eBay someday. Now, let's go back over to another article. Here we go. The Center for Immigration Studies. I think this is a fairly legit site. Del Rio mounted Border Patrol agents cleared. They were cleared of all charges. Okay? Now, Biden tried to have them arrested for, I don't know, I'm not sure what he had them arrested for, so I won't try to make something up and be funny. But they were brought up on charges against their actions where they tried to keep the border secure. You know, Border Patrol, whatever. So, in a stunning turn of events, DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas has vowed to gain control of the southwest border, telling the House Homeland Security Committee, I want to assure you that we are addressing this with tremendous speed and tremendous force. Keep in mind, this was April of 2022. None of these things have happened yet, and it doesn't look like they're going to. The Del Rio horse incident. Back in the middle of September, CBP was caught unprepared when some 15,000 to 30,000 migrants, the actual figure has been lost in the confusion, mostly Haitian nationals, crossed the Rio Grande near the town of Del Rio, Texas, and camped out under an international bridge there, waiting to be processed and released into the United States. Quick note about Haitian nationalists. The last time I checked, and please fact check me because I may be a little rusty on this. I haven't seen a map in a long time. I thought that Haiti was an island in the Caribbean. And if you, as the crow flies, want to get to United States, you would probably get to Florida. Now, why they went all the way west to Mexico and then walked up through the border near Texas, I mean, you could have hit Florida, you could have hit Mississippi, Louisiana. Nope, they skipped all those, went straight to Mexico, then to Texas. Okay. I'm just saying, not terribly efficient. It might be because everyone on the planet knows you can walk right through the southern border once you get into Mexico. I'm just saying. It's a known weakness. They're not doing anything to fix it. Anyway, Haitian nationals. 15 to 30,000 Haitian nationals. Did they have a book club and decide they all wanted to go at the same time? This seems a little planned. This seems a little organized. And it seems very funded. Soros? I don't know. I can't even make that claim. It might be our own government who gave them all vouchers to get here. They might have put them on planes to get them to Mexico, then put them on buses to get them to Texas, and then pointed out where to go across the border. I don't know, but making that assumption is just as realistic as anything else. So, back to the original article. So, when was this article written? Seriously, the first one we looked at? June 15th, 2022. Okay, last week, no, a couple days ago, DHS to level violations against the border agents caught up in the whipping agent. They were found not guilty, and yet they still want to prosecute them because they have some kind of agenda against the Border Patrol being effective at their jobs. You read into that whatever you want. The Border Patrol tried their level best with their resources to stop 15 to 30,000 migrants from coming into the border. When they did it legally, because no charges, they were convicted on no charges, and yet they're still trying to file violations against them. I can't say this government is corrupt to its core. But if a government in another country were to do this, we would certainly say they were corrupt right down to their core. But hey, let's go, Brandon? I don't know. If you appreciate any of this stuff that I'm doing, and I'm trying to work as hard as I can for you to get these good stories out, I would love it if you tap that subscribe button one time. Come back tomorrow and check out what I got for you later. Thanks a bunch.